Hello.
Good morning, Wanjala.
Oh, thank you. Let me start with the most obvious question. Am I audible to you guys? Kasikika,
Yes, you are. Yes.
Thank you. You know, you might be...
vizuri sana, tunakuona.
Thank you. Yes, I think thank you for being there in time, our moderator, Safaricom team. And now that we had promised our audience that we will start at 9, we just better kick off. Because we have a good number. We are now about 90. Let us just kick off so that the rest will join us for purposes of keeping with the time. With this, I just want to call upon Shama to lead us through a word of prayer. Please, Shama, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Mr. Angelo.
Yeah, please
Yes.
Open the meeting with a word of prayer.
All right. Let's believe and pray. Lord Jesus, we come before your presence. We say thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for this webinar. As we begin, Lord, may your presence be with us till the end. For it is in Jesus' name we pray and believe. Amen. Back to you, Mr. Angela.
Okay. Thank you, Shama, for those prayers. We have hit a number of 100, and let us start off our meeting with 100 people. Once again, our esteemed clients, welcome to this webinar. This is just one of the many webinars we have been running in partnership with our key partners on topical issues. And today, as you have been seeing in our adverts, today we are running something on cybersecurity. And I don't think there's any other better person that would have wished to join us, to sensitize us, to share with us experiences, also to lead us into awareness on this. An army of guys from Safaricom who will be leading us through. Wangeshi, are you there? Hello, Wangeshi?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How many are you? From Safaricom?
Asante, we are several of us. We are actually an army, and I would like them to represent themselves or to show themselves. We are about 5.
Okay.
5 of us, cyber experts in the room who are coming in here to let us know and give us insights on what exactly we see in the market, in the industry, the trends, the sort of cyber threats that we are seeing that are really hiking, especially this quarter and this year. So you'll be hearing a lot from the team.
Yeah, just for purposes of the program, we have scheduled this program to run from now, this 9 up to 9:30. And our moderators, our presenters will have 1.25 hours, 1 hour and 15 minutes. The session is interactive. Please bring in your questions as the presentation is going on. Let us talk. It's like we are in a room discussing issues. Let us not just leave it to the moderator to talk. Madam Wangeshi will be picking up the questions and answering them as we move. We'll coordinate on how to answer, giving to the respective officers to deal with the issues. So with that, I really don't want to take a lot of time on introduction. Just want to now call upon you, Madam Victoria Wangeshi. Safaricom muko na nini huko tuambie, so that as you tell us, Madam, as SACCOs, we have been hit with these cybersecurity issues. just like banks hatusemi sana, but
Okay.
it is with us. Ni kama ile shetani yako around us, you know, the share, yeah, these things going around us. Please share with us your experiences. The floor is on you now. The floor is back to you. Thank you, madam. Welcome.
Asante sana Wanjala. And can I confirm that you have given us full consent to be as open and candid with our customers and our members on this call? Tuseme ya ukweli.
Yes. Tasema hapa tuko very transparent, but before that, maybe, you know, I'm assuming you have been in this field for long. I'm assuming that all people know me. For the purpose of introduction, I'm Paul Wanjala. I'm the advocacy manager of the union, and what we are doing here is just an advocacy activity where we are sensitizing our members on cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is like a cancer, and if we don't dissect it, then we will not be addressing it. We have to go to the core, be open, and let us see how open you are. Sasa, Victoria, welcome.
Thank you. Asante sana Wanjala. And good to be in this session. Truly humbling and honoring that you invited us as Safaricom Business to meet the members as well as our customers who we interact in every day. So good morning to every one of us. I had written a note on the comments section. If you can, wherever you are, please drop where you're joining us from. Tuambie una join kutoka wapi. I'm sure most of us are tuko Nairobi. I know there are some of us or most of us in the region areas. Please let us know muko wapi, munafanyia hii session kutoka wapi, as well as which organization are you joining from. It will be very helpful so that we have a very interactive session. This is what I'm promising you as we start this session. We are here to tell you all about how you can secure your SACCO or how you can secure your organization. Cybersecurity continues to be a pain, a very huge thorn within our industries. And it's not just affecting SACCO industry. We all know that. It's affecting our bankers, it's affecting insurances, it's affecting all other sectors in the industry. Kwa hivyo, even as we are working in this session, and I was telling my colleagues here, my friends, juzi tu, I received a message from a company called Farifari. I hope hakuna mtu ametoka hiyo kampuni. Wakanitumia a very nice message saying, it is confirmed, they gave me the code of M-Pesa, wakaniambia I have won 150,000 shillings. To claim that win, I need to dial *254. They gave me a code to dial so that I can claim my win. Guys, cybersecurity is not just a business issue. It is also a personal issue. All of us, I am sure, one way or another, ama tunajua mtu either amesanywa through cyber, either has ever gone and, clicked on a link. Phishing, and we'll be hearing about phishing. Yani mtu ametumiwa link, click to, na ni bahati tu mbaya you have clicked and it has taken you somewhere you did not want to go and you didn't even know where you were headed to. Before you know it, you have lost some money and you have lost your data. We'll be talking about data. How do we safeguard our data? Hii data tunashinda tukishare. Tunaacha data. When I checked into KUSCCO today, my colleague had to leave their ID, which is a legal, actually it's a legal binding, what is it called? Criteria, right? That you need to leave a document. But iyo data ya ID akonayo na akona phone number yangu, how can somebody misuse that data? So those are the things we'll be talking about. How can we safeguard ourselves? How do we protect our members' data so that even the people we are employing, they are, first and foremost, they're doing the right thing. They're integral enough to know that data wako nayo ya member hawafai kuitumia vibaya. What sort of people, what sort of staff do we have within our organizations? And I think that is a critical issue that we need to discuss, and we have to be open and candid about it. So sit back, please let us know, ask as many questions as you can. As Wanjala had said, we have an army from Safaricom Business. We are a technology company, and right now, right here, we are really doing our best to ensure that we are supporting our customers, and mainly the SACCOs. The team you'll be seeing and you'll be hearing from today, These guys are the ones who actually walk and handhold the SACCOs within Kenya, within this industry of ours. So they have the insights, they have the trends, they'll let us know what exactly is out there, what they're seeing within other markets as we compare it within our Kenyan market, within our financial market. They'll be telling us, by the way, if we do this, tukienda hii upande, even though kutakuwa. If we go this side, this is what we need to do as SACCO leaders within whatever titles or professions that we are sitting in. So I would like to introduce the team of experts with me today. And so I would like them to please open their cameras to waone vizuri. We're about 5 of us, and I will allow them about 30 seconds each to just introduce themselves and let us know their expertise. I will start with Fides, who unfortunately is not within the room today with us, but najua ako sawa mahali yuko. Fides, take it away.
Thank you, Victoria, and thank you, the KUSCCO team. We are glad to support this session today in creating awareness to your members. So my name is Fides Nyamuhanga. I lead the Managed Security Services team. Ideally, my role is to connect businesses, whether small, medium enterprises, to cybersecurity technology, professionals, and support them in building cybersecurity programs and frameworks. Thank you.
We can go to Washington.
Good morning, team. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for the KUSCCO team for us to walk us through the journeys and protect you in cybersecurity. So I'm an analyst in the Managed Security Services division within Safaricom, where we monitor and detect attacks that happen to most of the SACCOs. So karibu sana, we'll be taking you through and showing you how that happens within the ecosystem. Thank you.
Asante sana, Washington. So we'll go to Cynthia, then Victor, then be done with Ruben. Asante.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for making time for us. My name is Cynthia Tea from Safaricom. I am a security architect. I handle matters risk assurance and cybersecurity advisory, and hope to get those questions from you. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you to the KUSCCO team for organizing such an opportunity for us to showcase and run through cybersecurity. My name is Victor Nzelimo Rapando from Safaricom Managed Security team. I run through each and everything to do with security on the customer side, from awareness training to protecting, developing the whole cybersecurity strategy, implementing and ensuring that your SACCO is up to the entire security standard. Looking forward to engagement and share as many questions as you can. We want to share so much knowledge. Thank you. Over to you, Ruben.
So hi everyone, my name is Ruben Waweru. I'm a principal engineer, Managed Security Service within Safaricom. Basically, my role is to unpack cybersecurity to customers and help them implement. I'm glad to be here to share our experiences within Safaricom and also what we've gathered within the field, the cybersecurity field. Glad to be here. Asanteni sana.
Okay,
Asante sana.
Wangeshi.
Yes.
Nimesoma kitu leo, hatukusanywa. Tunaweza sanywa, anakusanya. Ili fikia kusanywa ni kushikwa, mnaweka kwa gari ya polisi, unapelekwa. Kumbe kuna kusanywa nao vivere kili. Kumbe nimewahi kusanywa mimi pia. Otherwise, I like that one. I've liked that one. Continue, Wangeshi.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Angela. Asante sana. Good people, you've heard from the team of experts. They will be letting us know how you can secure your SACCO, your environment, your infrastructure. They'll give us the critical things that we need to do so that we can safeguard ourselves as well as our members' assets and monies. So without further ado, I would like us to just watch our screens. There's a video that I wish us to share before we go into the key guest, keynote speaker. Asante.
My name is Boaz Nyakawa Omwansa. I am the Chief Executive Officer of Ports DT SACCO. One of the challenges that we have been having is on collection of deposits from our members. But again, we appreciate Safaricom because we are using their platform of PayPal to correct this deposit from them. Sometimes we encounter no services at our branches because of connectivity that we have been having with other vendor provider. But of late, we have no that challenge. And again, we have been having a challenge of attacks from cybersecurity personnel who have been giving us a lot of challenges. But from the time we came up with this solution of HD1 and the managed security services from Safaricom, we haven't had any challenge regarding to cybersecurity. What I expect from Safaricom Business is, if possible, to come in and manage our digital platform because that is key to our members. Ports DT SACCO uplifting people.
Asante, asante sana. So without further ado, Senior Manager of Managed Security Services, Madam Fides Karibu Sana, please share some insights on the landscape and how we can secure our SACCOs today. Asante.
Thank you, Victoria, and good morning, everyone. Just to start us off as the slide is coming up, if you look at our current global population, we are at 8.2 million people, 8.2 billion people. And if you look at Kenya alone, we are at 57.5 million people. So as we go through the slides and you look at the numbers, you're able to actually correlate the population and the different activities they get to engage to. And my slide is coming up. And I'd like to just thank the KUSCCO community for this opportunity. I know you have around 3,632 active SACCOs. 357 are regulated by the SASRA team. Maybe you can bring up my slide. And if you look at the offerings offered by the KUSCCO, by the SACCOs, individual offerings that are around 30 services. That goes from yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. So those services include loans, deposits, applying for deposit, loans, the different soft loans that people get. There's insurance for some. There's even some who deal with the SACCOs as their main current salary accounts. So those are the individual offerings. But if you look at the different categories, they have 15 categories in terms of the offerings they offer. And therefore, how can SACCOs strengthen their resilience in this digital era? And that brings me to my first slide on ensuring that we are resilient even as we continue to expand. So if you look at the threat landscape, the SACCO transformation started in the 90s where they were paper-based. In the 2000 is when they started adopting the IT systems where they would use Excel and the QuickBooks. Between 2005 to 2010, they went into FOSA and core banking systems. And most of the time, this is the era where they relied heavily on integrators who are third parties. And I know some of them are still, might be on the call and still offer you services, especially in the tier 2-3 bank, SACCO businesses. And then in 2010 to 2015 is when now people like Safaricom introduced mobile banking. And there's a lot of compliance, there's a lot of automation that was ongoing to ensure that you offer a better experience to your members. And then in 2015 to 2020, there was now applications, APIs, online onboarding. So there was less interactions with the people. And now 2020 to present, there's a lot of now digital transformation, meaning there's the movement to cloud. cloud banking, where what people call neo banking, and of course use of AI and full online engagement, and we don't have to interact with the end user. So if we look at the cyber threat between January to March of 2025, we've had 2.5 billion attacks. Maybe the slide is down. So if you compare to the 8.5 billion global population we have, it means there is nearly a third or a quarter of the global population are actively at any point trying to exfiltrate or to launch attacks against digital systems. Victoria, my slide is down. Okay, so I'll continue because of time.
Fides, just continue. Just continue. We bring up the slide shortly.
All right. So, okay. So I just walk through and you guys will catch up with me. So between January to March of 2025, there are 2.5 billion attacks. And this is a 201% increase from the previous years. And if you look at the population, I was talking of the global population, which is around 8.7, 8.5 billion people in the world. That means a quarter of this population are actively at one point engaging in launching attacks. And these threats will continue rising. So you look at the system attacks, we have a rise of 228.3%. And if you look at your own business growth, the business usually does not grow ×2 unless it's a new product needed in the market, there is a niche or backed by the government. That percentage in growth, if you put it relative to the business, it's usually lower. So that means your businesses are more at risk of cyber threat than than the growth they are experiencing day to day, especially if they have reached their peak. And of course, there's a rise in vulnerabilities. So different vulnerabilities due to the attack surface area that has expanded. If you look from the 90s to date, this has been a lot of transition in this SACCOs and cooperative space. So there's a lot of applications, APIs, and cloud, so the risk goes high. There's a lot of fraud vectors. Previously it was mostly internally, but now even the external players are coming in. So there's a lot of phishing, there's a lot of swim swap that is happening. In terms of monitoring and audit, you find that most of the SACCOs, as we see it currently, do not have real-time tracking of incidents. So there's a lot of control that has to be adopted around monitoring and auditing. When you look at compliance, previously there was low enforcement on compliance to the SACCOs and cooperatives. And that is why out of the 3,632 active SACCOs, only 357 are regulated. That means there's a lot of compliance that mandates that they need to comply with that they have not yet met the threshold. If you look at awareness, there was low awareness previously, but in the post-digital transformation, awareness becomes a necessity to ensure that people individually take the responsibility of ensuring that their funds, their access are secure, and that's what the team will drill more going to the next presentation. So resilience measures, there used to be manual fallback. So you find that SACCOs would, if there's a system downtime, they would just shut down and write receipts on paper. But now you find there's a lot of dependency on uptime and backups. So where are your backups? How do you ensure high availability? How do you ensure disaster recovery? How do you ensure minimal time to recover when an incident happens? And all this means that the impact in case of a cyber threat will be high or low based on how you are able to respond. So if you look at impact on enterprises, it could be financial loss, it could be financial losses, operational disruptions, reputational damages, or even emerging risks that are coming with the new technologies. So if you look at financial losses, back in 2013, I think the first SACCO that was hit, they were able to lose around 5.7 million, and it took an average of 9 months for them to be able to detect they've actually lost fund. Fast forward to around the 2015, the next year, there was around 700 million losses around the financial sector. And a particular SACCO, and we have non-disclosure now to mention the names of the SACCO, lost actually 5 million through ATM fraudulent withdrawals. Yeah, that's one SACCO only. So if you look at that 5 million against their IT cybersecurity spend, you'd find that they didn't have a similar budget. So how again do you address the spend on cybersecurity? 2015, fast forward to 2021. It takes 260 days to detect, on average, a cybersecurity threat and 80 days to resolve. That's nearly a whole quarter trying to resolve one incident that is actually major. 2021 to 2022, we found out the frauds actually surged because it became lucrative even for the public. If you look at the generation we are in, the mobile penetration in Kenya alone is at 121%. Of the population. So meaning if we are 57 billion people, 121% is around 67 billion mobile phones within our ecosystem. That means there's a lot of digital growth and people using the digital platform to transact, to talk, and therefore, for those who do not find lucrative businesses around committing cyber fraud, they have actually contributed to the number of the 67% rise. If you look at 2022 to 2023, in terms of malware events that we were able to see within our ecosystem, there are around 125 million plus. And we had an increased cases for forensics that was 350% quarter and quarter. So if you work with teams that do a lot of forensic investigation from the law enforcement all the way to the individual financial sector units that have been set up, there was a growth in terms of forensic investigation. What has happened and how do we get to close? And some of these cases go to 1 year, 2 years before they're actually closed and the perpetrators have been brought to book. So 2024 to present, then we've seen again ransomware coming back. Remember, malware, the number of malware events were at 125 million. Now we see ransomware at 3,000 plus, which is a fraction of the malware events that we get to see. So ransomware is again rising in terms of people targeting data. And of course, if you have data breaches, there are legal litigations you have to go through. There are fines you have to pay to the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner. So you find data has become the new oil, the new gold, where people look at encrypting your data, asking you for ransom, or actually encrypting the data, asking you for ransom, you pay, but they still go ahead and sell the information in the dark web and the deep web. And of course, now it goes to mobile attacks. The mobile attacks were around 27,000 in Kenya only within our ecosystem. And these were targeted mobile attacks, meaning people are misusing the mobile applications, the mobile access they have to be able to commit cyber frauds. So some of the common attack vectors we're getting to see, and it's impacting the enterprises, are MFA bypass. Most of the SACCOs have implemented MFA, which is multi-factor authentication, or some may call it one-time PIN. So this means you have your app, and you're given a password and of course the one-time codes that you get to input to confirm it's you. But even the team can confirm within the customers we have hosted and interacted. Employees through collusion and also through third parties, they've been able to disable some of this multi-factor authentication mechanism and be able to exfiltrate the core banking system that are running, and of course leading to fraud of funds from the members. This is because the member is not able to receive the request for a one-time PIN. So how do you ensure strict controls around the multi-factor authentication that you have put in place, and also avoiding static tokens, meaning you're getting a one-time PIN, how am I able to ensure it is synchronized, that when maybe 30 seconds elapse, a new one-time PIN has to be requested. Some of the other common attacks we're seeing is privilege escalation. So this is a sensitive topic because most of the threats we are seeing are coming from insiders, especially hidden admin roles, either by vendors who came installed, who came deployed the systems, they left, and they left behind something called backdoors, meaning they're still able to access your system with the same administrative permission as your staff members. So there's a lot of use of PIM for staff and PAM for your internal staff, but for large enterprises, and I know we have tier 1 SACCOs who have bigger budgets of 100 million plus, they're able also to implement customer identity and access management solution to ensure that actually the customers themselves are protected as an end user. Whether you're a member, whether you are part of the board, you're protected as an end user. There's also a lot of fileless malware, so we find working with service providers who can advise you to deploy antiviruses that have endpoint detection and response, meaning the antivirus solution you deploy on your endpoint can actively detect and respond to any malware that is being ran within the different endpoints. So if it's through the flash drives that are inserted, either it's been downloaded from an email and it's trying to execute itself, the antivirus becomes your first point of contact to be able to detect and respond and block the spread of the malware. There's also log manipulation. We've seen a lot of deletion and alteration of logs, meaning when people are committing fraud, then they try to clean up their tracks very fast. So if you do not have a mechanism where you can check the integrity of your logs, check the integrity of also the systems that are logging over time, then it's a gap that can be manipulated. So even as you take up SOC services, how do they ensure or carry regular integrity of your logging and auditing, so that are there systems that auditing and logging has been disabled? And if someone disabled, is that information, can you be able to pick those activities and commands and be able to work backwards and identify the individuals? Also, the systems, do they have this capability? Do they have backups for the logs that you can actually reference, that if someone tampers with primary, the secondary is able to actually provide the logs that you have logged? Of course, there's also third-party collusion. This speaks to rogue vendors access, and this mostly happens through the APIs that we rely on vendors mostly. So how do we ensure that our API gateways, how do we implement API gateways, MFAs on those APIs, having audit trails that we are able to track the activities of our third parties, Safaricom included, when they come in as a service providers? What are the SLAs you have developed with them? Because then that speaks to how we get to protect Africa's digital future through Safaricom Business. Yeah, if there are any questions, please put them on the chat. So at Safaricom Business, we noticed that as much as there's been digital gain within the SACCO space, where there's adoption of mobile APIs and clouds, it has also widened the SACCO's attack surface significantly. And because of the challenges in massive malware systems level attacks, there's a surge in terms of the big uptick in mobile devices, and of course digital fraud becomes very high. And also there's a gap in incident response, reporting of some of the exposures and breaches you've had, and also cyber investment. Then we look at how can Safaricom support your business through connecting your business with our high capacity fibers and private networks, protecting your business through the cybersecurity services that we offer. And this include network security. We have application security. If you have any application, your mobiles, they get tested. If you have any website, we ensure you have firewalls that are web application firewalls that are able to pick any activities on the application. We look at critical assets. How do we segment the network to ensure critical assets are not exposed? And how do we ensure your resources can access those assets remotely, securely. There's of course the human element, which we are currently doing in terms of training end users, from the cleaner all the way to the IT professionals, from the novice, people who have no idea around IT, to those who are expert and masters on how to support the business in becoming cyber resilient. And we have also security around monitoring. How do we ensure active monitoring of our ecosystem, that no threat that is imminent or is about any threat that is about to happen or has happened, we are able to minimize the impact that it brings to our ecosystem. So Safaricom Business, of course, once it has protected, it enables you by ensuring it offers cloud and productivity tools. So once you've connected securely, you have your cloud and productivity tools, which the team will talk about once we finish the session, to ensure that we transform your platform and transform your business, even as we fill into the government's agenda of becoming a digital nation. So some of the cybersecurity roadmap that can be adopted by the SACCOs in the different tiers, you can start by first looking at your foundation, doing a basic cyber hygiene. How do we govern IT systems? What risk assessments do we need to run? What trainings, what backups, what health checks can we carry out? You don't have to do this alone. Some of these you can embed them as part of your contracts with the different vendors to ensure that you also spread or transfer the risk from you to other people, and also utilize the expertise they have with a minimal cost. At 6 to 12 months, you can consider now hardening and monitoring. This is looking at your infrastructure. After you've looked at your foundation and realized my foundation might not be that good, then how do I harden and monitor? So looking at infrastructure security, adopting access control, doing a lot of vendor reviews, which is very key, because in this era, outsourcing services is the best option. You outsource, for example, to Safaricom and tell them, I want you to run with my cybersecurity estate. So the vendor reviews are very important to ensure you're getting the best benefit, you're getting maximum services and value from the vendor who are more experienced and can able to also support with logging and incident response faster than relying on yourself. But of course, governance has to be in place around that. And then you can give yourself now the next year to look at resilience and growth if you don't have in place. And resilience speaks to having a security operations center, cyber insurance. So there are different insurance companies offering that. Ensuring your business continuity plans and your disaster recovery plans are in place, they are tested, and there are regular drills to ensure they are effective, and also vulnerability scanning, regular vulnerability scanning. And I know when Cynthia was introducing herself, this is her area of expertise. And then there's a lot of automation. How do I automate my IT systems to give customer experience, but the same time automate my IT system to give me cybersecurity intelligence? And as it gives you intelligence, of course, it gives you cybersecurity fast response to incidents. So recommendations, you need to elevate cybersecurity to board level, and kudos to KUSCCO for running with this advocacy around awareness training, run regular fraud and digital safety training like we are doing, but fraud is a different topic. Establish incident response playbooks. So playbook is basically, if today we are in this call and we all go black, who is going to find out where is Victoria, where is Paul, what is the incident response, who reacts first, where and how, okay? And how do we track all these different streams running? Of course, invest in core security tools. If you look at the penetration of mobile, it will reach a point, and Safaricom people will tell you, we don't like working from the office. We prefer working remotely, and when we say remotely, it's not at home, it's anywhere. So mobile device becomes our laptops. Our tablets are our laptops, but you find most of the time our mobile device is now the new threat in this industry. So how do you ensure security of the endpoint device, the mobile device? Basic is having an antivirus with EDR capabilities. And then now the firewalls can come in, the web application firewalls can come in. You can have now the anti-DDoS solution. But for a basic, to deal with malware, which is prevalent in your ecosystem, to deal with any ransomware, have an antivirus with EDR capabilities. And of course, regular audits and vendor integrations of regular audits of vendor integrations. How are our vendors operating within our ecosystem? Are they within the bounds that we have set? So if you look at the SACCO budget across the tiers, if you are a small SACCO tier, it means you're doing your non-withdrawal deposit taking SACCOs. So you find their IT spend may be at maximum between 1 to 5 million. So allocate 20% of that to cybersecurity. And most of these services then you get to outsource to qualified and verified partners. For medium-sized deposit-taking SACCOs, you look at having an IT budget of between maybe 5 to 20 million plus. Allocate again a similar percentage, so you have close to 500,000 to 10 million to spend on cybersecurity. Again, outsource, and you outsource to an individual who is able to give you connectivity, protection, enable your business, even as you look at the digital transformation, to ensure that you become a smart business and you can operate beyond your geographical location. And for large deposit-taking SACCO tiers, you find their budgets are between 20 to 100 million for IT. So for such, you find they'll allocate 5 million to 20 million to cybersecurity. And for them, you find most of the time the hybrid model works for them, where they get to have in-house security controls at the same time they get to outsource. One of the services that we recommend most of our businesses, whether large or small, to outsource is the SOC service, because the turnover of the SOC analyst is very high. So you need an institution or a partner who has the muscles to be able to drive the operations of the SOC with minimal interruptions in terms of resources. So thank you so much. So even as I invite the next speaker, Victor Anzelimo, to take us through identity and infrastructure security for SACCOs, to just now break down in detail, how do I manage access control within my SACCO and cooperative ecosystem? Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Fidesi, for that overview, for the deep dive. Honestly, you have given us the trends and the insights as to what exactly is happening within our SACCO industry and also overall. So without further ado, kindly, Victor Anzelimo, karibu sana, please let us know from an infrastructure perspective, what exactly should we be doing so that we can ensure that we are securing our SACCOs?
Thank you very much.
I would like to tell our panelists now, due to time, and I know it's very important, I will give you 7 minutes, 7 minutes each because of time. Asante.
Thank you, Fides, for the run through and the deep dive into securing the entire ecosystem end to end. And due to that, I'll focus mainly on infrastructure security. And for infrastructure security, this is where we come in terms of how your systems are set up from the edge network. And when we talk of the edge network, we talk about how your firewall is supposed to be set up. This is your firewall is your endpoint into your network. So when we begin with that, we'll talk about how your firewall is set up. Is it one of the recommended OEM vendors in terms of firewall outsourcing? So here we see a case where we have so many SACCOs that are getting firewalls from non-standard operators. So an open source firewall, I always say, is not a firewall. Anything that is free is not supposed to be in your network. So as long as you have a firewall from an unsecure, non vendor, we recommend removing that from your network. Once you get to that, you get into the second part, which is your server system, how your servers designed and how are they set up. And here, when you talk about your server architecture, this each and everything about your SACCO runs in terms of server on the server level. So we do not recommend people having servers that are also open source. We have vendors like Microsoft who give you fully licensed servers. So these are servers that they're always up to date, they're always patched. And with an open source server, we talk about servers like just a general Linux server. So just as I mentioned, if I give it to you free, I always have a back door into it. So one of the things that we recommend is having fully licensed, fully secure, fully patched servers. And this one also speaks to compliance, because once you have an open source tool and you're going into production, any regulator will not validate such kind of a setup. So as per the presentation shared again, FIDES has really emphasized in terms of social engineering and phishing and insider threats. This speaks to the human element of the SACCO setup. So I will not belabor on that point, but I will go specifically and focus on two things. Number one is ransomware. We've really had a conversation around ransomware where where customers lose their data. This is where a ransomware is an attack that is specifically targeted towards getting access to your data, encrypting your data, and then introducing a kind of payment that you have to pay for them to give you back your data. So once your data is encrypted through a ransomware, that is majorly attacked through a human element, through majorly links that you click, and your data is encrypted, you have to pay for it. So what is the key thing to do that, to remediate this situation? Number one, we'll always talk about avoiding clicking links, and that is on the social engineering and the phishing part and the insider threats, but also have a backup of your data somewhere else that is offsite. We always call it a cold backup, so that in case you are attacked or your data is encrypted, you do not have to go make the payment. You will actually just shut the environment and go to a safer environment. So that one really speaks to ransomware. The second kind of a system attack that we really talk about is distributed denial of service. So a distributed denial of service is where your competitors or your attackers need you to be out of service. So a denial of service is where your servers and your systems are not accessed by your customers. So I had a run through Meru some time back, and I walked across the street and I saw 7 SACCOs following each other in less than 500 meters. So if I am in competition with you, what will I do? I will just do a denial of service, ensure that your services are not accessible by your customers. And as an agitated customer, what do I do? My focus is to go to the next available SACCO. So with a distributed denial of service, that's why we still come back to the edge protection. Protect your network by having a DDoS prevention tool that is there to protect your edge network, number one. Number two, ensure that each and the segmentation and separation within your network, so that if you are attacked on a single point, let's say a user's network, because of segregation, there is no lateral movement to your server environment as well. The third part I will talk about is on the cloud vulnerabilities. We're actually moving towards cloud, and so many of our SACCOs are taking the services to the cloud. Again, with the evolution of cloud and migration to cloud, there are so many challenges that come with misconfigurations, insecure interfaces, zero-day attacks. When I talk about a zero-day attack, is where these are unknown kind of attacks within the cloud environment. So number one, there's so much that comes to upskilling in terms of knowing your entire cloud platform, number one. Number two, ensure that as you do the cloud migration, that is being done by a certified and a well-known vendor, that they understand actually the kind of configurations that are taking place. Because again, if I migrate to cloud with an insecure kind of infrastructure setup, I am migrating the same problem into the cloud environment. And actually at cloud environment, I'm more exposed compared to if I was locally hosted. So those are most of the technical challenges that we experience in terms of our SACCO infrastructure. And again, as we talk about the challenges that we face, what are the solutions and what is an action, our call to action as a SACCO? Number one, as we always say over and over, conduct regular assessments. This is what we call VAPT, vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, so that you have an understanding of where you're exposed, which are the key systems that you need to patch, and the key things that you need to really work on and to improve. Number two, there is the IAM and multi-factor authentication, and has been meant as it has actually been captured by FIDES. Don't just implement a multi-factor authenticator because you can. We are seeing so many cases of the same MFAs being breached. So ensure you have a trusted multi-factor authentication. And here we are specifying multi-factor, not two-factor authentication. So a two-factor would be an SMS. So in a case of a SIM swap, you also have exposed the number to another authenticator. So have multiple kinds of authentication. Number three, we always say your weakest link is your staff and your people around you. So when you go through so many kind of attacks, it is the same staff that clicks the links. It is the same staff that give out customer information. So as long as the staff is not cyber aware, you really have a very high exposure in terms of your network. So continuous mandatory training which I will emphasize mandatory. If it's in a 6-month period, ensure everyone is trained. Run a report, run a phishing attempt to see is your training effective, and always upgrade in terms of the customer training, the user training. The fourth point is engage trusted security partners. As I began with, if you're going to buy a firewall, do not just get an open source firewall. Ensure that your security partner is certified. The security partner is ISO certified, to be very specific, so that they're actually very compliant in terms of what they're giving you. And finally, there's a test and incident response plan, where always do regular tests in terms of your infrastructure. We always talk about business continuity planning, where you have two sites, production and a DR, running in parallel. Ensure that you do regular tests. In a 3-month period, do a failover to your DR. Confirm, is your data replicating? Is it the same kind of security being offered on your DR? Or are you only securing your on-prem and having your DR exposed? So as I mentioned, and it will always be mentioned by all our security experts, security is not a one-time project. It is not a one thing that you will complete and you'll say you're 100% secure. We see incidences where even a Safaricom will get hit. And after we are hit, we have to come up with another plan. So it is a continuous and it's a culture of vigilance. So let us always keep secure. And that's our main call to action. And to also showcase that these things are live and they're happening within our networks. And these are not a story of hearsay. I'd like to welcome my colleague Washington just to give a brief demonstration of this in the real world. Thank you.
I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So we've spoken about perimeter security. We're looking at how data is being handled around the globe. However, the question is, when we talk this, are we sure of what we're seeing happening around? So with me, I have a live demonstration of what we see happening within the environments. So because of time, I've done I've been running a lab that is still ongoing currently. And when you look at the presentation I have, I just try to look at what Safaricom is exposing out there. And I ran some commands as an attacker. So where am I coming from? We have guys who will click on links, let's say phishing links. And the moment they click on phishing links, they give these attackers control over some of the systems they have. And now here I have passed now the fisher, I've fished a user, and then now I'm onto the systems. And what can I see? Like here, I have very many domains when you look. So you can run this against your organization, and you'll be able to find that I'm seeing a lot of information that is related to Safaricom. So I can decide to attack a specific one. Let's say I have something like Uzima safaricom.co.ke. So I'll just look at what is uzima.safaricom.co.ke. Or you are an employee, you work in finance or in business. I'll just come onto the business and then I'll target that. The moment I target, I'll be able to come and target that particular connection onto your systems. And then the moment I get it, I'll be able now to try to see what are you giving out onto that system. For example, on my presentation here, you can see the services that I'm seeing on your internal systems. Like I have open services that I can get access to. E.g., I can do what we call TCP or bind onto your system and then be able to steal things like passwords, your information. So the question is, as I'm attacking this, are you able to know what is going on through your system? So we call that data in transit. Are you able to monitor your data that is moving around? This way we come now to tools that we have. So as Safaricom, we provide monitoring tools to different organizations. but I'll just give one which is open source called Wazu tool. This Wazu tool will be able to show you various activities, e.g., you can be able to see configuration assessment of your systems and understand if you have any weaknesses within your system, then you fix that. Or you can even look at malware detection. In case somebody is doing some malware attacks within your system, you should be able to see. You can do threat hunting. Threat hunting is simply looking at issues that are emerging within your environment, like if you have a user bringing unauthorized tools like a USB and then and exfiltrating data from your environment, you have that capability to see. Also, you can be able to see vulnerabilities within your system. So this tool, you can it will give you the posture of your system, how the system sits, even how the user sits. Like we have file integrity monitoring. You can know if a user, let me say in IT, is accessing financial records. And then maybe let's say in case this guy exits, he can carry that data with him. Where he goes, then he can exfiltrate it. So we're looking at protecting the employee, protecting the systems, know your employee, know your vendors, know everybody. So have a system that can give you all that data in one place, and you can have the capacity to view and see, are you safe? Are you not safe? And what is going around within your environment. So thank you very much. I'll hand over this back to Victoria.
Thank you so much, Washington, as well as Victor, for that presentation. I think what I am getting today is having a policy or a culture where you trust nothing, you trust no one, a zero trust policy, a zero trust culture where you have to verify everything, suspect everyone, literally, and then proceed to verify. So then the question becomes, how do you do that? How do you implement the systems, the right tools, so that you're able now to verify and do what it needs to do, so that you can allow the good people in, or the good systems in, the vendors that you're talking about, then also now mitigating or curbing the bad actors within your environment. Thank you so much, guys. We continue with the session. I am seeing a lot of hands up. I would like to really humbly request, please share your questions on the Q&A tab kindly. So please share them on the Q&A tab or on the comment section if you can. Just share them. The speakers will actually answer the questions. And during our Q&A tab, we'll have a 5-minute session of Q&A questions for those burning questions and those burning issues that we are getting from these conversations. So we have heard from our lead when it comes to the landscape of cybersecurity within the industry. We have seen what exactly we can do from a strategy point of view. What can we implement? What are these plans that we can implement? Even from an infrastructure perspective, what are those things that we need to do so that we ensure our environment is safe? And we are also, and we are backing up. We have a disaster recovery plan where now our data, the data that we are trying to store, our members' data can be replicated within other sites. So let's now switch gears to data security and data privacy. This is becoming a very hot topic within our environment. How do we secure our data? How do we ensure that the data we are mining and we are getting, because we are all data processors, every day we receive new data from our members giving us information. So how do we ensure that we put in the right systems in place to govern and to comply within the regulatory perspective? Here to talk to us is Cynthia Ateo. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Victoria. I just confirm that you can hear me. Okay. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be with you to discuss a topic that sits at the heart of trust in financial institutions. That's data security and privacy. In the interest of time, I'll just go to the key points. In today's digital environment, you as SACCOs, you're no longer just custodians of savings, you also custodians of sensitive personal and financial data. And according to Section 2 of the Data Protection Act, you are not only data controllers, but also data processors. And with the increasing digitization of services, cyber threats and data breaches have become more sophisticated because we have different channels that are hitting our core banking systems, such as mobile applications, member portals, agency banking, and the lapse. And we are collecting a lot of data. A single lapse in data protection can lead to reputational damage, regulatory penalties, as we shall see, and most importantly, loss of member trust. So we are just going to explore quite briefly and quickly the key points that we as SACCO leaders and professionals can put in place to safeguard policies and practices to secure our members' data. So as you can see on the screen, I will just go straight to why data is one of the valuable and most vulnerable assets that SACCOs hold today. You can see that we hold a lot of data that is financial data, such as records for savings, loans, and transactions. We have member personal data, KYC document, biometric data, such as photos, fingerprints, and also we have system access logs and activity history of all the activities that are taking place in the SACCO. And as I've mentioned, there's a lot of growth that is happening in SACCOs, a lot of innovation, and as well, this comes with risks as well. First, because data is the foundation of member trust, we handle sensitive personal data, increasing biometric data of our members. This is not just information, it represents the trust that members place in the SACCOs every time they deposit money or apply for a loan or update their records. They put a lot of trust in us. So any compromise of this data directly erodes that trust. Secondly, data drives the core business of our operations, from the main business such as loan processing and savings, management, to member onboarding and customer support as well. As SACCOs depend on the accuracy, we need this data to be accurate and available for data and the operations to carry on effectively. If this data is corrupted in any way, stolen or unavailable, this could lead to disruption of our services. And I should mention, as you've seen my colleagues mentioning the different types of attack, one of the most valuable things that these attackers want is data, not just money, because data is very valuable. They can go ahead and use it for fraud, for identity theft, and the likes. Thirdly, data is central to strategic decision making. I believe we have a lot of decision makers in this call. So with the right data, the SACCO is able to access information such as credit risk more accurately, also predict member behavior to help you grow the business, and also to detect fraudulent patterns easily, and also design tailored products. And finally, the most important, regulatory compliance is another critical reason to prioritize data handling. As we all know, as data controllers and processors, we are under the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner. The Kenya Data Protection Act requires us, the SACCOs, to protect personal data, respect privacy rights, and ensure transparency in data usage. And non-compliance is not only attract penalties, but also damages your reputation and ability to operate. So, so on this slide, we can just see some few examples of penalties for non-compliance. So these include, but not limited to, the main ones are the fines and the penalties. The regulatory authority, that is, as I've mentioned, the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner can impose serious penalties on the SACCO. For non-compliance, penalties can attract fines of up to 5 million or 1% of your annual turnover, whichever is lower. And this brings a lot of impact to our business and to our revenue. As data subjects as well can also go ahead with legal action. The SACCO members can sue the organizations for violating their privacy rights, and even in some cases, criminal charges can apply, especially if there was unlawful disclosure or misuse of the personal data. And most importantly, loss of member trust. If members believe their data isn't safe, they may withdraw or stop engaging. As my colleague mentioned, as SACCOs, we have a lot of competition. We are in competition with other SACCOs as well. And what will help another SACCO get ahead of you? Maybe it's business espionage, because if your members have come and claimed that their data has been stolen, they'll want to go where they believe their data is being protected and trust especially is being held. And of course, negative publicity. So in summary, poor data practices don't just risk fines, they threaten your license to operate as well, your reputation, and most importantly, your member trust. Okay, so what do you need to do? You need to review your current data collection practices. Are you collecting data according to the Data Protection Act? The Data Protection Act clearly stipulates how you should collect data, data minimization, how you should retain data, for how long are you holding data for your members. Also train your staff and on data handling and confidentiality, because staff, for example, are the tellers. They are the ones who are collecting that biometric data, or at the customer desk. They deal with a lot of customer information. So just train them to handle that data confidentially. And also implement controls and encryption. That data you're storing, SACCOs, we go as way back to decades of years before. How are we storing the data? Are we encrypting that data in that if in the event someone tries to steal that information, are they finding that that data has been hidden so they are not able to access the information? Also, review, as SACCOs, you deal with a lot of third parties for ATMs, you deal with a lot of third parties for your mobile applications and also co-banking systems. Are you reviewing how your vendors are handling data? Are you reviewing your contracts with your vendors to know what data they can access and to what extent? And as well, you need to draft and update your privacy policies and notices. Most SACCOs do not have a data protection policy. A policy is the backbone of whatever you need to enforce. So if you do not have a data protection policy, how are you ensuring that even your employees are aware of what they're supposed to do? So you need to enforce data protection policies in line with the Data Protection Act. So protecting member data isn't just compliance, it is a commitment to trust to our members. I will allow just Washington to show us how easy it is for your data to be out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Yeah, so we're going to do a few tests here to test our passwords, and also to see if our passwords have been breached, and also to look if we exist online. So an example of what I have is I've come to do a search. Confirm you can see my presentation. Not yet. Okay, let me share.
Not yet, Washington. Not
Okay.
yet. Work on it. As you work on the presentation, I just want to let the members here know that the participants know that the slides will be sent to your email account. So just relax and listen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm going to try to search my own image online to see how do I exist. So in this current agent world, whatever you share online, where does it sit? Who has it? Who can have access to it? I've picked two pictures. The first one in the background, I picked for a president, and it showed me several. However, this one, I'm searching myself and to see where does Washington exist online, and then we'll be able to see. So as it is loading, let me see, start searching. So this one is searching. Then it will process just to tell me where has Washington ever been seen. So if I look at these pictures here, yes, it's gotten me, like in the first one, but maybe the other ones, it's missing a little bit. But with the refining, with the AI coming up shortly, the more I put these results online, the more I come up. So I can search using your image, and I'll be able to find you where you've posted your data. Maybe you posted it long ago. When you tell Google Photos to take your data and upload online, where does it sit? Who stores them? Who stores it for you? Now, can we from the outside world come and get that data? Yes, we can get it. So this is something that we're looking to see how we can protect in the future. Where do you keep your data? Who has your data? The second bit is I can look for my name, username online and see, or even my email. So when I put my username or my email, I can search, then it will process also to show me where I am stored online. So to verify this, I'll pick these curtains, then I'll confirm, then it will list where my username has been used, either to register on different links, or maybe I logged in using something like they will just tell Google automatically authenticate me online. So it will search and it will give me where I exist. Then sometimes we come also and check our passwords. So you've done your password and your email. Let me put here my email and see if maybe I am in any breach online. Here, I'll put my Gmail. Then I'll see if I exist anywhere, if my email has ever been compromised. So the live results here, it's saying, yes, I'm in 4 breaches. What are they? This is Swivel. So what did Swivel do? In June 2020, it will tell us the Egyptian operator suffered a data breach. Then what was picked? My email addresses were picked, my names, partial credit card data. And this is where partial credit card data comes in. When you register with the online payment systems, you input those card data details. So somebody can pick this and then they do auto billing. Then your money is stolen without knowing, or your member's money is stolen. Also, passwords have been taken. My phone number is out there. Also, my profile photos are out there. So the hackers who stole this means my data is out. The second one here is Canva. Again, geographical location. So somebody can actually track where I exist. We have another one here called Fit. Again, what was stolen was email addresses, genders, geographical location, IP addresses, names, and passwords. The question is gender. How can my gender be used? So the salespeople online can know Washington is male. So in case you lose your data, your customers' data to hackers, can the person who stole that data give projections to or sell your customers their products using your data? So there's this data breach that also happened in 2013. Again, my emails out there. A lot of things out there. The question is, do I know what is out there? So people have been hacked and I'm out on the web. Now, finally, let's look at how strong is my password. Let me just paste, like I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Down here, it will tell you how fast your password will be hacked. So 1 to 8 will be hacked immediately. If I add an A, it will take 3 hours. If I add a B, 4 days. If I add a C, it is live here. When you look here, it is showing you 5 months. So as you do your data, let's see Nairobi. You do Nairobi. 800 milliseconds. That is immediately. That's how Nairobi can be hacked. Sometimes this is when I have your data. If I have your ID, I have your name, and I have your ID, maybe where you stay, I can easily guess that password where you are. And the moment I put here, this one can test your password. Let me put something complicated a little bit. Let's say capital N Nairobi, Nairobi, then dot. Let me put 4. Then I add something like capital Y, then capital P. You see 3,000 years. So you can test your password using these sites. It's a free site. How strong is my password.com? You test that password. Or you can view your data breaches where you exist, where your data might have been leaked to using haveibeenpwned.com. Yeah, so thank you. That was a demonstration, just a build up from what Cynthia was presenting. Thank you. Back to Victoria.
Wow. Washington, I think you main agenda today was to scare us and to ensure that tukitoka hapa leo tutetemeke kidogo, and I think you're doing a very good job. First and foremost, you have just shared all our passwords. I think some of us, our password was Nairobi, so clearly we need to do some homework on that. I see some questions already coming in on the Q&A tab. Asanteni sana. Continue to put down your questions. We're going to have a 5-minute Q&A, but also our experts are already answering the questions on the Q&A tab. So if you had a question, kindly go on the tab and we make sure that your question has been answered. If it has not, we are going to answer them. The guys who are raising their hands, please put your questions on the Q&A tab. I know we have 15 minutes till the end of the session. So before I call my last speaker, I was telling Ruben, you see, all our phones, our smartphones especially, tuko na AI assistant. For me, I tell it, it's a him because I've put a male, wherever, avatar. So nimemwambia, please pick up my calls. You can please dictate. When I dictate to it, to him, he actually sends out the text messages that I need to send out without typing. It can read my WhatsApp. So I was asking Ruben, how is it able to read my WhatsApp? Na ananiambia, you're the one who allowed it in settings. So when we come to human centricity, because at the end of it all, when we do a full circle, sisi wenyewe, Mimi and you and me, we're the ones who are sitting up right there at the center. We are the biggest link. So mimi nimejita mkutano, wewe je, Ruben, karibu sana, and please close with a bang, tafadhali, and continue where Washington has left us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Victoria.
Sorry, Ruben, before Ruben takes over, I think we'll add some 20 more minutes on what we have. We have very interesting presentations here. Let us not compromise that. We just had some 20 more minutes, so we'll lock off at 10:50. Thank you, Ruben. Usirashi kama matatu.
Okay, that is duly noted. I will go slowly as mode. Yeah. So thank you so much. I think we were discussing with Victoria the other day the importance of having the human firewall. Okay, and probably before I start off, for purposes of this session, under your seat, I was able to organize a demo kit. So all of you can check under your seats. If you see a demo kit, you can give me a thumbs up. If you don't see, just give me a thumbs down. Just kindly check under your seat. There's a demo kit with the Safaricom logo. Just check below your seat. If you're able to see that kit, give me a thumbs up. If not, give me a thumbs down. Yeah, I can see some thumbs up. Wow. Yeah. Thumbs down. And there's so many thumbs down. I don't know what happened to the organizing committee. Yeah. Wow. So there are so many thumbs up. Okay. So I think, guys, you can see from the screen, that is a problem. These icons you're seeing, emoji here you're seeing, that is why we're having this conversation on the human-centric cybersecurity. Why is because we trust so easily. I don't have the capability to go to all of your seats and place a demo kit. So I can see some emojis coming here. Yeah, so that's the problem. That is why we are discussing today, is because we as humans trust very easily. You guys don't know me. Just because I have a tag of Safaricom, my picture is on your screen, you easily trust me, and you can easily check and give me a thumbs down. So the human component is a proper weakness and something we really talk about in our day-to-day. So just to dissect this further is, as you can see, I've just been able to talk to you very shortly, and maybe we'll be able to convince you to check under your seat. Okay, so imagine what I can do with a link. Imagine what I can do with data that we share on WhatsApp. So most of us here are on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and we all share. We love sharing. I am in church. I am at the beach. I am with my child. Or we post your children, probably they have a new jeans. and you went to church, and you feel that it has not been seen well. Okay, so you easily take this information and post it online. So hackers have come to the knowledge of this and are aware that Kenyans love to share. Okay, we love to share where we are. We love to share things are working well. Actually, when someone is off social media, probably they're going through something difficult within their lives. So we love sharing, and hackers can easily take this information and use it for social engineering. So these are the common risks within cybersecurity, in that we can easily be social engineered, and they use this information to either share a link to you and give you some very rich information that you can easily click. Others, we have weak passwords, as my colleague Washington has demonstrated. We use very weak passwords that can easily take 8 milliseconds or 3 days just to hack. And remember, we are going to an era of quantum computing, whereby such passwords will be cracked within minutes if they are complex. Okay, so we really have to look into those particular risks that we actually have. The other one is misuse of system and data. Most of us here are given a company laptop or go with the company laptop at home, and the same laptop they use to go to some sites, streaming sites, which are not authenticated. And these sites are known to carry malware, which can easily get your passwords or get your credentials and be used to exfiltrate data or access your banking system. Just to give an example of this, just recently in our cyber defense center, our analysts were able to pick random attempts to connect to an account. So what they were able to see is one of our users was able to see his account being accessed from Eldoret. We have never seen him accessing the account or logging into the account from Eldoret. So what basically happened is we called the user immediately, and just to try and see, why are you logging in? We have never seen you in Eldoret, and why are you logging in from this particular location? And this user was actually, at the moment we were calling him, he was actually at the bank. And what had happened is they had taken all of his money from the account, and he was actually trying to pursue with the bank or to stop further access to his account. So what happened? So this is what happened. So most of us normally share our phones with our kids. So we, just because you want a kid not to bother you or something, you give the kid your phone, and they normally do the games online. So they play the games online. So one of the games that the kid was playing with had actually installed a malware in the phone. Now, what happens is when a kid sees a prompt on the screen when he or she is playing, what happens is, so that it does not bother him anymore, he just wants to click OK. Okay, so that particular pop-up goes away. So when that kid clicked OK, the malware that was picking the credentials actually installed. Okay, so what happened is, when this guy was accessing at the end of the month, was accessing the USSD code. So normally what happens is, you normally insert star, let's say 224 hash. Okay, the first prompt is the PIN, correct, which is a 4-digit PIN. So it gave him a PIN, and what happened is this PIN was able to be recorded on the phone and sent to the internet to the user or to the hacker. Okay, so what happens is, most of the USSD prompts or the banking that you normally have, they don't give you probably a multi-factor or a fingerprint. So normally you just do the PIN, and once you do the PIN, you access the main menu of the banking system. So withdraw, that is, and then the amount. So that's basically what happened. So they were able to record the PIN. They accessed this using what you call an Android simulator, simulated his number by doing probably the number swap, and they were able to access, because normally when a bank authenticates you, they normally add to their core banking system the number, which is your phone number, where we expect the USSD code to originate, okay, and then the USSD code, and then the USSD pin, okay. So they were able to emulate by swapping his number and emulate this on an Android phone, and with the pin that they already recorded, they were able to pick that, okay. So what happened is after that was happened, they took all of his money, and now he was actually at the bank trying to recover the money. So the human risk is it's rising day by day. Another one is the insider threat. So you have disgruntled user or people who want to get rich faster, okay. So and this one is it's rising day by day. So the human factor is becoming very huge risk, okay. So what do we do, okay? So probably as organizations, what you can do, probably go to the next slide, is have regular staff and agent training, like what we're doing right now. I'm telling you of an incident that basically happened recently. So this training will assist in terms of being aware that even if you're giving out your phone, you monitor what is basically happening, okay? So be aware of what is happening within the environment. Second is clear security responsibility. So that IT person, you don't give him full right to the entire estate. Just give him access to whatever he needs, or just in time access. Just give him access to the systems that he needs to access. If he doesn't need access to the AD, don't give him access to the AD, okay? So clear security roles and responsibility. Third, an open culture to report suspicious activity. For example, in an email, or let's say you're using Outlook, you can add a phishing report. Let's say, for example, we have trained our user. They think that the message they have received probably is a phishing email, okay, because of the rigorous training that you have offered them. And what you can basically give them is an opportunity just to click or to report that particular either email. If they suspect an incident or someone behaving strangely, they can have a number that they can be anonymous and report this, okay? Number 4, security built into onboarding and exit process. So what we call joiners, leavers, and movers, okay? So guys that are joining in, once they join in, there's a process to either onboard them end-to-end to the system, and when they are leaving, for example, they are removed on all of the systems, okay? Part of what we have in Safaricom is we have a bot that basically tracks our user end-to-end and removes him. If he has left, the bot removes him from the AD, removes him from Teams, removes him from every component or every system they were accessing. If the person has shifted from one department to another, because each department have what you call segregation of roles and role-based access. Every person has access based on the role they have. So basically changing their roles from when they shift from one role to another one, okay? So as organizations, as we go to the next slide, as organizations, and my last slide coming in, so we really, from a leadership perspective and policy, it is very important to support all of these things that we are saying here today. And one of them is to support security initiative, like for example, having your IT team or finance and tellers. So previously we used to focus on IT team being cyber aware. Nowadays, we have to look at everyone, your customers, your tellers, your agents, your board, your IT. Every person has a role to play as a human, okay? So everyone needs to be involved in the cyber security initiative. And then the second thing to do actually to have periodic review and communication. So don't do one-offs. So don't just do a one-off review, let's say for this session only. Have continuous reviews where we discuss them. Have awareness weeks, have awareness months, or have an awareness period where you sensitize your staff around cybersecurity. Have policies that are human friendly. So don't have draconian policies that are very hard to keep. So have policies that are clear, concise, and very understandable to the users. Second thing is lead by example. Probably as leadership, champion cybersecurity. As senior management, champion cybersecurity. Don't be the one who says, remove that privilege and just give me access to the system. Remove that multi-factor and just give me access to the system. Champion the usage of cybersecurity tools that you guys already have. And then lastly is, let staff share security challenges or gaps. So during the training sessions, whatever challenge they have, if it's logging into the VPN and they are not able to log in easily, just have them share so that this can be addressed by the security team. We really have a role, all of us, to play. As demonstrated, we easily trust. We easily trust as human beings, which is very, very good. We are wired to that, okay? And for that to, for us to bolster security, we have to build the human firewall. Thank you so much.
Wow, Ruben, that was well articulated. Please give a thumbs up if you got something under your seat, because honestly, that was a very, very good opening. Thank you so much for the remarks. Cybersecurity is no longer an issue of ICT. It is our issue. Each and every one of us, all human beings. And as we continue and as we conclude this session, there are some 3 overarching questions that I would like us to answer live as we near a close. One of the issues, and I've seen guys asking, is on AI. Can I share my data with AI and is it secure? Victor, as you come to answer this, please enlighten us. Are we secure when it comes to AI, ChatGPT, and all these other tools that are within the market?
Thank you for that question. And there's so many questions about AI. And I always say AI is a double-edged sword. As much as it is used in terms of for us security experts to secure, it is also used to compromise. Number one, I'll just begin with the simplest definition of AI. AI is a computer being trained to handle data and information like a human being. So each and everything you put on ChatGPT, you're training the baby to handle data. And if you give your personal information, the same AI model will use that information to try and understand what are the core fundamental building blocks of this information. And it can be used, number one, to build a personal profile, and number 2, it can be used to attack it. So that data shared, both personal and organization, is never secured because remember, you're giving it to an external entity. So the same explanation I've given about a baby. If you give a baby a razor blade, they will choose to understand how a razor blade is from their own perspective, and they'll choose to either use it to cut paper or to cut themselves. So the always obvious recommendation is share as minimum data as possible. Number 2, if you're going to share and ask questions, ask very general questions that any other person can use, can also ask. And number 3, never share organization data with an AI model. It will use it to build an organization profile, and we've seen such cases where you feed customer information and it's able to build an end-to-end customer profile, and it leaves the same profile to attack. So those are 3. And number 4, as I conclude on AI, for organizations that are AI heavy, you'll see organizations building their own LLM models. So these are language models. They'll build their own AI engines internally, and they'll feed it with customer data, and that AI engine is never exposed externally. So if you're heavy on using AI, please build your own engine internally and ensure that any customer data is not shared externally. Thank you.
Perfect. Well said, Victor. Another question, and I'd like to invite my colleague Washington to discuss this, an issue of SIM swap cloning and splitting. Can it happen? SIM swap cloning, what is it? How does it happen if it actually does? And how can we ensure that our members are safeguarded?
Thank you, Victoria. So for SIM swap cloning and SIM swap duplication, I'll give a simplest example, like by saying that nobody can steal your car by just seeing it the first time. Never. They must have an interaction with it before now they understand how it operates. Maybe you gave the key, then somebody can duplicate, then now understand the weaknesses. So in terms of SIM swaps, members normally will give information out there. E.g., sometimes it's very easy for me to know your ID, your phone number, maybe your date of birth, if you leave it carelessly. Number 2, what do you put online? I can also use that to know where you are. Like you can post your birthday, then I can guess when you are born. I can get your ID. You might have accidentally put it somewhere. And then I'll use that because those are the methods that we use to authenticate while doing the SIM swap, which is offline. But when we come to online data, most SACCOs have an application that is online. Safaricom app is online. So what can Washington do? Washington can simply prompt a code onto your app. I'll download an app lock like for a specific SACCO. Then I'll pretend to be calling you from this particular SACCO. Then I'll tell you, I'm calling you, I've sent you a code, please read it for me, like I'm resetting it, the two-factor authentication code. You'll give me, then I log in. The moment I log into that application, that's it. I have all your data. So what we'll advise members is, number one, be careful with your SIM card. Let me give you statistics on what a data with no money can give you. So if I swap your SIM card now with zero money, I can go and get a loan for Fuliza, I can go to Okash, I can go to Tala, I can go to. So a SIM card with zero balance has a risk of 200,000 shillings that I can swap and get from that SIM card. So what are we advising users today? Don't, even if you lose that SIM card immediately, report so that people don't get loans. Number two, if I get it and then I prompt for reactivation of that SIM card, what will happen? It's very simple. I'll get a code of that SIM card, and then I'll be able now to log into the SACCO account and I'll be able to withdraw money. So we are advising users to be careful not to give out data to fraudsters. That's number one. Number two, technically, we're also telling users, the organizations, the IT teams, that if a SIM card is swapped, you deactivate that particular device, that it cannot authenticate until a user is sent a code to reactivate that particular app. And then number three, do not also install applications on numerous devices, or if you ask a code onto that from anybody else telling you, I've sent you an SMS, give it back to me, then they authenticate. Do not do that. Just advise your members to be careful not to give out any code sent to them, any ID, or if a SIM card is like stolen or swapped, let them block it immediately. Then we'll at least keep money safe. Thank you, Victoria.
Asante sana, Washington. At this juncture, I would like to call back Fidesi to give us 1 minute call to action. Fides, if you can hear us.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone. First, to the KUSCCO management and the organizers of this session, we thank you for the opportunity as Safaricom. And to all our attendees who are 362 plus, nearly the number of regulated SACCO, we thank you for attendance and your patience. I know we have learned and discussed a lot in this session. If you need follow-up engagement, the team is available to have one-on-one sessions with you guys in your offices at your own comfort. And we welcome you to more of the sessions we'll be having at Safaricom Business across the regions. So we are running with Safaricom Grow in the different regions within the country. So feel free to plug in, and you can send us directly your request to our email addresses, which will be shared by your organizing team. And yeah, looking forward to doing more of these sessions with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fidesi. Asante sana. As I hand it back to Wanjala, KUSCCO colleague. Guys, thank you. Asante sana. I really hope you've enjoyed yourself and you found it very informative. I would like to take you to the polls. If you've not done the poll, tafadhali, please go right on there. Ensure that you answer the questions. This will really help us so that as we continue to build this conversation and elevate it, we'll have enough insights so that we tailor-make the insights and the feedback you've given us for the next sessions and for the future sessions. For the questions that are continuing to come in, we are actually answering them on the Q&A, and we are going to share the presentations as well as all the questions and put it in a very nice way so that you can be able to have the information that you require. I have been your host from Safaricom Business. My name is Victoria Wangeshi. Asante sana. Back to you, Wanjala.
Wow, what an army it was. I know some of us have been left scared the way we have been handling our data and security. one I wanted to, before I come to the conclusion, is that for those who were with us last time, I had promised that we'll be running data protection webinar. But Safaricom came in and we thought it was handy to have Safaricom talk on cybersecurity before now we bring in the data protection, which will be our next, if all goes well, it will be our next webinar next month. So be on the lookout and please join so that, you know, this is a continuation. It will be a continuation as it complements each other. Otherwise, I really wanted to thank the Safaricom team and more important, call upon the participants that Safaricom is there for you. Usije then after this, usije then okalalamika kwamba we are hit without taking any steps. I've taken home a lot of things, but one that I will always remember, Washington have told us security is not a one-time project. It's a culture of vigilance. That one that doesn't just apply to data or cyber, but I think even in our fiscal security, should always be vigilant in whatever we are doing when it comes to security. Otherwise, thank you very much. We have you've really managed to keep time. We have some 10 more minutes that we have added on the half past. Thank you very much. Thank you for the participants and keep coming. I think we were at one point, we were at 172 or something. That's the biggest number we have had. And let us come. We are excited that actually our SACCO participants have seen the need of these webinars. As from KUSCCO, we'll continue. We promise to continue bringing more topical and interesting areas that we'll be discussing. Be on the lookout for our next seminar, a webinar, I mean, and for our communication team. Thank you very much, Safaricom. Thank you, participant. Thank you very much. Shama, can you close now with the prayer? Let us not forget prayers, please. Shama?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wangela. Thank you, Safaricom team. This has been an awesome webinar, quite informative. We've shared knowledge and looking forward to the next one. Let's believe and pray. Lord Jesus, we thank you for this hour, Lord. We started with you and now we're finishing and closing with you as well, Lord. Thank you, God, for the rest of the day and for our participants. Bless us, protect us, and keep us safe, oh God, from any harm, oh God, digitally and physically, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray and believe. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. See you next time.